guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about lawn machine maintenance. Okay, welcome back. So today we're going to do a little bit of maintenance on this lawnmower that I have, and I'm going to show you how to replace and sharpen the blade under here. Now, this is an old machine. It's about 15 years old, something like that. It's an old Craftsman with a Briggs and Stratton motor, and it's been very good to me. 15 years, no real problems, just regular maintenance, and it still keeps cranking away. So I keep using it. So let's do some work on it, and I'll show you how easy it is to do. Okay guys, so as we go along, I always like to give you some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way to save money and make your life easier. So let's go with tip or trick number one. In here on this model, and on many different models, a lot of this is a very common Briggs and Stratton design. In here is where the air filter goes, and if the engine doesn't breathe properly, it won't run properly. So changing the air filter is a very common thing and a very advisable thing to do. Now these come with a paper air filter, like a lot of lawnmowers out there do. But they're not cheap. I haven't replaced it in a long time, but I think it was $5 or $6 for the paper cartridge. Aside from the expense, I get tired of having to go to the store and buy it all the time. So I decided to be smart, and what I did instead was I made myself a foam insert. And you can do this as well. I've been using this for a long time, and it works perfectly fine. Get yourself some foam. It's easy enough to just clean it off. You know, give it a bath, soapy water, something like that if you want to. Pop it back in, and you're good to go. And it runs very nicely. This is some inexpensive foam that I just picked up somewhere. Maybe it was some packing material. I don't remember. But either way, it's just some simple foam. You see the carburetor is behind that. This is just a deflector, and it sucks in some fuel in there. Well, it deflects the air from going in. Behind that, you have the primer, you know, to get it started easier. So, if you don't want to replace the paper cartridge all the time, get yourself some open cell foam. Make sure it's not too tight. Make sure air can go through it. Blow through it. See if air will pass through it. And save yourself some money on some cartridges, and it's easier to clean it and put it back, and you're done. Good to go. So I just cleaned out mine. It's good for another while. Another thing, if you want to keep your carburetor and everything running smoothly, get yourself some carburetor cleaner, the spray kind. You can spray it in there every so often and clean it out. And to keep all the internals of the motor running properly, get some carburetor fuel injector cleaner that you pour into the gas tank. And this is only a 1-gallon gas tank, or maybe less on some mowers. But don't pour the entire bottle in there. You're going to choke it out. You're going to throw off all the measurements, and it won't run properly. Put in a little bit every so often. Every 2 or 3 months, put in a little bit, a couple ounces worth. Just throw it into the gas tank. That'll run inside the motor. Keep everything, cleaning it, clean the jets, all that kind of stuff. Prevent varnish from building up inside the carburetor. Make it run a whole lot smoother. So a little bit of carburetor fuel injector liquid that you pour into the gas tank of your car, you can put that in here also. It's the same basic principle. It's a carburetor. And it runs the same as your car. Of course, cars now are fuel injected, but you get the connection. Pour it in there, let it clean up the motor a little bit, keep your internals from getting all gunked up with the varnish and garbage that the gasoline builds up. That's quick tip number 2. So, let's turn this baby over, and I'll show you how to take care of the blade. And if you're going to turn it over to change your blade, make sure the gas tank, which is right here on this model, make sure the gas tank is towards the side that you're going to have up. Don't put it on the opposite side of the machine, or you're going to leak gas all over the place. Right here, this is on the upper side. This is the part I'm going to lift. So this machine right here takes a 9/16. All you do is take your 9/16 ratchet and righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Just loosen it up, take it off, a little more. And it comes right off. Now, on this machine, it only goes on and off one way. On some machines, the blade can go on either way. So make sure on your machine, mark it or do something to make sure you know exactly how you're putting it back correctly. On this one, the bends, as you can see, go outward. So it's cupping this way, not up towards the machine. The cupping on the blade here is cupping down towards you. So we're going to put it back the exact same way. Simple bolt right there, comes right out. And like you see, it has a cup to it where it's cupping out on both sides. And the blade's not too bad, but I'm going to sharpen it a little bit because the ends are really, really dull. So I'm going to give it a quick little sharpening. And since we're already here, on this model, not all models are the same, but on this one you can see this bolt right there. That is the drain plug. So you can unscrew that, take that out, and let the oil drain out, and then close it back up and fill it up to the top, instead of having to turn it over like this to have the oil go out. And for that you don't really need anything. It takes the square end of a ratchet, or an extension, either way. The square end right here goes right into there, 3/8. This is a 1/2, but it goes with the 3/8. The 1/2 won't fit. So take a 3/8 ratchet, stick it in there, undo it, you're good to go. Alright, let's get the blade over to the vise so we can sharpen it. Okay, and we're back. Now, to sharpen the blade on your lawnmower, all you have to do is put it in the vise, make sure it's secure, you don't want it going anywhere, and then you only have to basically sharpen this last bit, this, I don't know, the outer couple inches, 2.5 inches, something like that, this outer part where the bend is. This is the only part you need to worry about sharpening. The inner part here, you don't sharpen, just this outer part. And it doesn't have to be sharp as a tack, okay? It doesn't have to be a razor blade. It just has to be cleaned up and sharpened so that it gives the grass a nice clean cut. Now, if you're curious what the difference is between a clean cut and a not so clean cut, let me demonstrate real quick. All right, let's use this piece of paper as a blade of grass. So why do you want to sharpen your blade? Okay, think about it as your grass. Do you really want your grass to be cut like that, where you're basically munching away at it and getting a torn edge, or do you want it to be cut like that, a nice clean cut? The answer is obvious. You want a clean cut. It's not that you're going to notice a visual difference. Well, you will in the long run. The thing is that it's healthier for the grass. A grass that has a munched off edge like this, where it's really an ugly, ragged edge, is going to get sickly and die and catch disease a lot more than a grass that has a nice, clean cut edge like this. So this is what you want. Clean cut edges will heal faster and better, and the grass will grow nice and healthy, as opposed to a ragged, munching edge. So, God, sorry about that. To sharpen your blade, you can get a file and spend a lot of time just going back and forth and back and forth. Okay, if you have a lot of time on your hands and you really enjoy that, go right ahead and do that. I have a lot more things to do with my time, so I'm not going to use a file. I pull out the big guns and I use a grinder. Alright, that's what I use. Very simple, the old-fashioned grinder. Another quick tip for you. I've had this grinder for a long time, and the button broke on my grinder. So I could have ordered a button and replaced it and stuff like that, but the button would probably cost me almost as much as getting a new grinder. I mean, when I bought this grinder, they were more expensive than they are now. You can get one at Harbor Freight for under $10, and I think a new button for this one would have cost me like $7, $8. Not worth it. So what I did was I rigged the button to always be on, and then I put one of these switches on the cord. So all I have to do is flip this on and flip it off, and the grinder works perfectly. So if you have an old grinder that you want to keep going, but you don't want to have to spend the time, trouble, and money to fix the button, if maybe you can't even do it, depends on how far gone it is, rig it so that it's always on, and then put one of these on your cord and you're good to go. So let's sharpen this up. And like I said, you're only going to clean it up, and you only need to do one side of it. I do both because this is an old blade, and it's, you know, it's been munched up a lot. So I do both just to clean them both up and have them nice and clean and reasonably sharp. And the reason you want to do this also is to save yourself some money. Because a new blade, if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy yourself a new blade, you're talking $30, something like that, approximately. If you go to a lawnmower shop and you take your lawnmower in and you have them take it off and sharpen it and stuff like that, you're looking at about $30, $40, maybe $50 or more. Depends on the shop and the area that you live in. Some areas are obviously more expensive than others. So this you can do yourself. It literally takes you 5 minutes. It's taking me longer to explain all this than actually doing it. Literally 5 minutes, and you can save yourself anywhere from $30 to $50 or more dollars for that. So think about it. 5 minutes, $50. $10 a minute, that's pretty good. That's not bad. So let's sharpen this baby up. Ready for some noise. And that's it. We're done. This side is done. Now all we do is flip it over, do the same thing on the other side, and we're done. I'm not going to bore you with doing the other side since you already saw what it is, but you saw how simple it is. Doesn't even take me a minute to slide through both sides and you're done. With the file, you'd probably be sitting here, I don't know, half an hour or something like that doing that. It's not worth it. God invented modern machinery for a reason, right? Take advantage of it. Use your grinder, be done in a minute. Alright, I'm going to do the other side and then we'll go put it back on the machine. Okay, so here we are back at the machine, and I just finished doing both sides of the sharpening on the blade. Good as new, lasts me for another whole season, another year, and next year I'll do the same thing. I'm not going to change the oil because I already did that this year a few months ago, so I really don't need to. But I was cutting the grass today, and I noticed it was munching the grass instead of cutting it a little bit, so I figured time to sharpen it and good time to make a video about it, so that's why I brought you guys along. So, like I said, remember on this one, the cupping side goes out, and you can see it has a big mark where this plate goes on here, so it's pretty obvious. Your machine may be different. Be sure to make a note, mental note, or something so you know exactly which way to put it back. This baby goes right on here. Put it, there we go. Stick it right back in there. Put the bolt right back on it. It has a bunch of washers and stuff to it. Make sure you don't separate these because they're needed. Put it back on, and make sure it falls into the stabilizer slots in there. You don't want it flying off. And take our wrench, and now we tighten it up. And we're good to go. Now, if you want to look up torque specs and stuff like that, if you're one of those torque fanatics, go right ahead. I just tighten it up until it's tight. I mean, good and tight. That's all. I've never had to do anything more than that. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to come off. So, you're done. So, hope you liked the video. Hope it shows you guys how easy it is to maintain your lawnmower, and you don't have to spend a bundle taking it to somebody else to do it. You could do it for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like and subscribe button. Bring you guys back next time for another video. Hope you can join me. So, bye-bye for now.